Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And computers are evolving, and how we use them evolving even faster. We will look at how you will be using, interfacing, and becoming even more productive and reliant on computers. Later in the show, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino will be joining in the conversation. We'll also be talking a little bit about Uber. I hear it pronounced both ways all the time. So, and of course, we'll talk a little bit about web hosting as well in this show. At the control panel, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Walsh.
Now, we still don't have Uber here in town, right here in Bismarck.
We don't, but I've heard through the grapevine that it is coming to North Dakota.
I heard it through the grapevine.
Yes.
I would think they would do it in Fargo first.
I'm guessing you're probably right, yeah. Yeah, but
They're
that
a little
is
more cutting edge about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you never
Fargo.
know. You know, it might be here quicker than we realize.
Yeah, okay.
So, I know that there is an instance of somebody who signed up from Fargo as a driver, and they accepted him.
All right.
So that goes to tell me that we're probably going to have Uber coming to a town near you in the
Now,
near
is it
future.
Uber or Uber or
Uber.
Uber?
I'm not
Okay.
sure.
There's like an umlaut over it.
I think it's Uber.
Uber. Okay.
Yeah, it's Uber.
All right.
And for those of you who don't know what Uber is, Uber, they are kind of like a newfangled taxi service, I guess is the best way to say it. You get a little bit of a reduced rate. Of course, based in North Dakota, there are a lot of people who do not have taxi services available to them. So this will be a big deal.
Well, I would say it's more like a big, giant carpooling thing.
That's probably a better scenario to it. It's kind of a combination of both. So you have an app and you pay for the service through the app, and it's usually about 50 to 60% less than what you would normally pay for a taxi service. Although maybe around North Dakota that might be a little bit different, but in larger cities that's generally what it is. And you just basically go on the app, you see if there's somebody available close by, and they'll come pick you up.
It's great.
Yeah, it is, and no money exchanges hands because the app handles all the money. So the driver doesn't have to worry about it because Uber pays them. And Uber goes through a process to qualify drivers. I mean, they do a background check and all that good stuff.
I know they're fighting it, kicking and screaming in a lot of places.
They are. I mean, Nevada's, of course, and has been really fighting it because of the Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's industry. But it's like anything else. Things are changing.
Yeah.
And maybe the taxi services have to be involved in an Uber type of situation as well.
Could be.
They just have to catch up to the times, I guess you could say. So, yeah. So we're going to be talking a little bit about computers today. So is there anything, Jim, that you can think of that computers make your life easier with now that maybe that you did another way in the past?
Well, a lot of things. Oh, sure, a lot of things.
Okay.
I mean, contacting people contacting family, friends and family.
So first off is communication.
Yeah.
Absolutely a lot easier. And why is that for you?
Well, I just get on plunk my electric twanger there. To me, emailing is much easier. It's even easier than using the phone.
Okay.
It's a lot more convenient, too. I mean, a lot of times you don't necessarily want to talk to somebody on the phone about something.
Right. You don't want to go through the pleasantries. Hi, how you doing, Jim?
Yeah.
And you get through that, and 5 minutes later, you're finally getting to the reason you called. So yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing I like about texting too.
Yeah.
You have the same type of thing. So, and of course, you contact me all the time through Facebook. Are you a big Facebook user?
Very much so.
Okay, and do you use Facebook basically for family communication?
Family and friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Because I'm not, which is why when you contact me through Facebook, sometimes it takes me days to get back to you because I'm not one that actually hops onto Facebook a lot for personal reasons. I do a lot of business on Facebook.
Yeah, I never got the handle on that.
Yeah.
I never really figured out how to do that.
So, I have a lot. I host a lot of or take care of a lot of business pages on Facebook. But anyway, so the computer experience is going to change a lot bit. So do you use your smartphone a lot with Facebook as well?
Most of my Facebooking is done on my smartphone.
It is, okay. And is it just a convenience thing, or do you just prefer the experience better than on a PC?
I don't know that the experience is any better one way or the other. It's just convenient as all get out. If you're out and about running errands, if I'm in a place with Wi-Fi, chances are I'm going to get right on and do Facebook if I have nothing else to do with my time.
Okay.
Just to kill the time.
Yeah, I'm not a big personally not a big fan of small screens.
I understand.
And to me the input, when you're trying to type something into a smartphone is difficult at best, which is probably why I'm not a big fan of Twitter either, because trying to and maybe that's just going to my age, I don't know. I just have a hard time typing on these devices.
Oh, I understand. I've never been able to get a handle on the whole messaging thing.
Right.
With the thumbs and all that business. I'm always hitting the wrong button and minimizing the picture or accidentally hitting the back button and it goes back one and you lose the entire message. And I get very frustrated. For stuff like that, I would definitely rather use the PC.
Right. Well, I'm sure you're wondering where I'm going with this conversation. And probably one of the biggest advances we're going to see in the very near future is the ability for your computer and your smartphone to understand you talking to it better. Now, have you used voice recognition software before?
No, never have.
Okay. I have over the years, and, it's okay. I have, on my PC, it's a much better experience than on my smartphone.
Okay.
And I suppose it's because of the computing, there's just a bigger processor in the computer. If there's a mistake, it's easier to catch that type of thing. I've used voice to text a few times. I stopped using it because it made too many mistakes. It would actually put different words in for me, and I have some embarrassing situations even that have come up because it throws in different words where they're not supposed to be.
Kind of like your autocorrect.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Taken to a whole nother level. But I think in the future, this technology is getting better and better and better. And I really believe that, in 3 to 5 years, you're probably going to see more and more people talking to their smartphones.
Maybe at that point, I'll actually start doing it because I've got an iPhone that has that capability.
Yep.
To, like, for phone numbers, for example, call Uncle Bill, and it dials Uncle Bill's number.
Yeah. Well, I've seen, I always pick on Nick a little bit because I watched him one time. He was our partner at Awesome 2. Right. And he was, I think he was saying, call Bill, and he had a headset on or something. He goes, no, call Bill. Well, the phone was saying, call Bob. No, call Bill. Call Mom. No, call Bill. He got into a fight with his phone just because it didn't understand.
Now, there's a man with way too much free time on his hands.
It was just hilarious. So, but this technology is getting better and better. And I think one of the places that you're going to start finding, in our everyday life, and I know even gaming machines nowadays have gotten a lot better because you can change channels now on your remote by saying go to ESPN or whatever right on your remote. So these technologies are getting better as we go along. After the break, everybody, we'll talk about how your TV is going to be your next new computer. So come on back.
Right now, 46.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank all the listeners across the country and around the world who listen to us on all of these wonderful, stations, I guess. Yes. Plus, we're on the Blueberry Network. We are on the Tech Podcast Network. We're on iTunes, of course, on the Roku, and on Radio Pup, our own app. I'm only laughing, Jim, because as we're sitting here, we got a note underneath the door. I'm not sure what this means exactly. Jim's going to go get it right now.
I don't get it. I think it's my schedule.
Oh, it's your schedule. Okay.
Yeah, schedule.
Here I thought it was something important for the show, but okay. Well, good enough.
Well, they know better than to bother me with stuff for the show.
Yeah.
No, it's just we have baseball on Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Local baseball.
All right. Got to like that.
Yeah.
So, all right. And we were talking about Uber a little bit ago. The reason that we were actually talking about Uber is that I was running over the internet over the weekend here, came across a very unique podcast, an Uber driver log podcast put out by Jonathan Edwards. And he has some great tips and tricks for both new drivers and veterans. So if you want to learn how to become an Uber driver or how to maybe become a better Uber driver, you want to check this out. And then I'll actually put it up on the Tech Pod or on the on the Tech Ranch website for a link to it so people can go and take a listen.
Well, is there a trick to it? I mean, basically, it's about driving somebody where they want to go, right?
I suppose, but there's probably ways that if you learn how to treat people better,
customer service
type of stuff. Yeah, exactly. That maybe you'll receive a bigger tip or whatever. I don't know. So that's probably where this goes, and probably some of the tricks to the trade, maybe on where to if you're out and about, where to maybe position your car better so that you have more opportunity. They say the average Uber driver makes over $20 an hour.
That's not bad.
Not bad. It's a part-time gig.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there hoping to make a couple extra dollars with your car is what it's about. So,
5 hours a week, that's $100 right there.
Yeah. So, if you need a little spending cash for the weekend or whatever, you could use Uber. And that's the whole point of it, is that you can actually generate a little extra cash and help some people out at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Good karma.
Yeah, exactly. Good karma. So we were talking a little bit about how computers are evolving. And I think the biggest thing that we're going to see is the evolution of our TVs. So
TVs becoming computers? I mean, we're halfway there already.
Yeah, I mean, there's smart computers now, or smart TVs now, of course.
Yeah.
And mostly the smart TVs are designed to bring additional content into your television. So you can stream YouTube, for example, to your TV or whatever, in addition to the networks. But as we're moving forward now, this is becoming more and more realistic. Intel's got some chips that they've come out with. And probably the biggest thing is the Intel Compute Stick. Have you seen this thing?
The Compute Stick.
Okay, so I have a flash driver on my neck, my standard flash drive, okay?
Yeah.
You know what HDMI is, right?
Right.
Okay, so instead of the USB port on here, HDMI looks very, very similar to USB. You would plug this in to the HDMI port on your TV, and it has Windows 8 installed on it. It has Wi-Fi built into it, and it has Bluetooth built into it so that you can connect a wireless keyboard and a mouse, and that's all there is to it. And when you're done, you pull it out, and the next place you go to, you can plug it back into another TV.
Super.
And that TV becomes your computer. So you carry everything with you. And with the addition of cloud computing, or cloud storage, whatever, all your files and stuff get put on the cloud anyway. All you need is the operating system. And this is a marvelous thing. Now, Android also has a stick. So you can do the same thing, an HDMI stick for Android. Probably the biggest thing there is you get all the Android apps and all that other stuff that comes with it too. And there's a lot of TV set or over the top boxes that you can plug into your TV as well to bring in additional channels. It's almost like a Roku, these Android set-top boxes for watching TV, but you get the Android operating system with it too.
What do the cable companies think about all that?
They hate it. I'm sure they hate it.
I'm sure Comcast is revolted by it. Of course, they're pretty revolting themselves.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to figure out ways to incorporate what they're doing into this thing. But, when you get like the Roku, which is one of the largest selling devices in the country right now, 10 to 20 million of them a year is going out right now. And people who buy the Roku eventually just decide, hey, I don't really need cable anymore because everything is coming over cable. In fact, there are services now through the Roku. Slingbox is one that for $20 a month, you get local programming with that. So, and then they're really expanding that. Right now, it's just for the large markets in the country, but they're really expanding that part of it. So
I can't help but think that the kind of developments we're talking about here, they have to be a factor in what happened with Comcast last week, the whole Time Warner merger and the way the whole thing kind of the bottom fell out of it.
Yep. Yeah, this industry is changing so fast, and they're trying to handle these changes, and I don't think they understand themselves where this is going, because they can make a guess, and hopefully the right guess in their minds, of course. But 6 months from now, as they're gearing up for what they thought the change is going to be, the whole thing changes again.
I think there's a perception, rightly or wrongly, that the companies like Comcast are dinosaurs that are just kind of desperately trying to hold on to what they did that worked so well for them yesterday.
Right. Well, look at AOL. AOL at one time, America Online, was the premier way for you to get internet.
I remember when AOL was cutting edge.
They were. And then, of course, Time merged with them, so it was Time AOL because they thought that would be the cat's meow,
Yeah, of course.
And
23 skidoo.
Yeah, exactly. and they merged, and the company, almost, it hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
And AOL is still prominent
They're
as far
still
as
around.
Oh yeah, they still are, and they're still a top 200 website even, so people still use them.
Good luck in trying to cancel AOL. Jeez, you know that story. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it used to be. I forgot about that, but yeah, they almost wanted a blood test for you to cancel out on the thing. In fact, I think that was part
AOL
of
and
Bebo.
Sirius XM are the two that are notorious for really making you jump through hoops if you want to cancel.
I've never heard that about Sirius.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, really.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So, I really believe that the TV is going to be the big deal. And on top of that, we all, or not all of us yet, but a lot of us are carrying computers in our pockets, our smartphones.
Yeah.
Right? And that, to me, in combination with a TV, is going to be a big deal. And you're starting to see that already. There's like Chromecast. Have you ever casted anything?
How does it work?
Okay, so you have Chrome on your computer. Okay,
Yeah. Yes,
you go out
I
and
do.
get a Chromecast, which is a dongle again, just like what I was talking about, an
Right.
HDMI dongle for your TV. You plug that in. It's $35 for this thing. It's actually very, very cheap, right? And what it does is it casts from your computer, from Chrome on your computer to the TV. So it'll
think we
wirelessly.
did talk about
yeah,
that one
we have
time.
talked about this, and so if you don't have a way to get your computer to your TV right now, you can actually cast it. Well,
Yeah.
you take that to the next level, and actually you can cast from your smartphone and your tablet as well. And of course, Apple products have AirPlay, and with Apple TV, you can do the same thing. I mean,
Right.
both formats, or all three formats actually, OSs have this capability. When I say OSs, I'm throwing Droid into that as well. So you have that capability of casting, your stuff to your television. Well, imagine if there was a dock that you could dock your phone into, and then this dock had a computer or a keyboard and a mouse
Yeah.
that you could attach to the dock. So then, you're casting from your phone or your tablet, and then you have a keyboard and a mouse to navigate with. Or in the future, it'll probably just be your voice. You'll just say, you'll start talking to it, open my word processor, bang, it opens up and,
Hello,
and dictate a
computer.
letter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like Scotty.
Scotty.
Yeah. I
Hello,
love that
computer.
part in Star Trek. What was that? That was the whales one, wasn't it?
That was the one with the whales.
When
Yeah,
they
I
went
think he was
back in
holding up
time.
the mouse,
Yep.
wasn't he? He was trying
Yep.
to talk into it. Hello, computer.
That was so hilarious. But we're at that point now.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess in 3 to 5 years, you're going to see more and more people wearing headsets in an office that are just like the old dictation days.
Yeah.
Where you're dictating a letter, except that your computer is going to be doing all this stuff, and you'll tell it to go to the website that you want to go to,
Yeah.
and computer do this, computer do that. I believe that we're moving to that direction.
The
real
Jetsons.
fast. Yeah.
I
Again.
remember a Jetsons episode where George dictated a letter just like that.
Okay.
Dear Jane, stop. I need to blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
blah.
Yep. I see that
It's all done
happening
automatically.
And you can do that now. It's just that it's not the easiest for the general public to use it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've used Dragon Naturally Speaking. Very, very great program. I love that program. And I've actually built business plans, and I never typed anything. I just used and that was 3 or 4 years ago already.
Yeah.
And I know that it has gotten better. It's just that, like I said, I've been in some embarrassing situations because of voice to text on my phone, so I don't tend to use those technologies at this time simply because of that. So, but it is coming along, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So you could check out the Intel Compute Stick, by the way, under $150.
It's on the market.
It's on the market
It's
now.
on the market. You can go in the store and buy it.
Well, I don't know if you can go to the store yet, but you can order it online.
All right.
Under $150, and it's basically a computer. You plug it into your monitor or your TV right now, and it's not a very high-powered computer, but if you're doing it for internet browsing and for word processing and stuff,
Which is all I would need.
yeah, $150 for a brand new computer. with a 32 or a 50-inch screen or whatever you're doing at home.
That doesn't suck.
That's not a bad price at all, is it? I mean, when you think about it, if you went out and bought Windows 8, you would spend $150 just for that. Mm-hmm. So it's really not a bad price, and I would expect that will come down. You can get Android sticks in that $50 to $100 range. So there's some great deals out there if you want to experiment with this a little bit. All right, everybody, after the break, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino will be joining us to weigh in on the conversation, so come on back.
Right now, 46.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And I would be remiss to if I didn't let everybody know about where we host the Tech Ranch now. I found a great new place called New Web Hosting, and it's nuwebhosting.com. They are absolutely amazing. I have never been affiliated with a hosting solution before with the customer service that these people have. I have an issue, I can call them or I hop on an online chat, and within seconds I'm talking to somebody. This is just unbelievable. And you were just talking about your customer service issues that over the weekend that you were reading about from somebody else.
Yeah.
And about how bad it is.
Well, we're talking about Comcast.
Right.
I mean, we can say we're talking about the Comcast and the merger that didn't happen.
Right.
And on Slate.com, which is one of the sites I go to regularly, they got an article where they're talking about how they think the customer service issue came into play in shooting down this whole deal.
Okay. Yeah. Customer service can make or break a company. There's no doubt about it, on a large scale or on a small scale. But so anyway, I love these guys, newwebhosting.com. I have a link to them on the website at thetechranch.com. So if you're looking for web hosting services, I can't tell you enough good things about these guys. And they're reasonable. That's the other thing I can't get over. I don't know how they can be reasonably priced and offer the kind of customer service that they do. But
economy of scale, you got enough people, you can do it.
I suppose, So anyway, you got to go check them out. We love them, and they are doing a great job for us at thetechranch.com. On the phone, joining us from the New York area, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino. How you doing, Katie?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Marlo?
Doing fine as well. Hey, we are 3 weeks away from you descending on our town.
Woo!
Yes, I'm so excited. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here as well. We'll have to work on that itinerary. We're going to have to take you on a tour of our, the tourist things that we have around here.
I'm so excited to visit North Dakota. It's going to be my first time being over there.
Really?
And it's got to be amazing because you guys are over there, so I'm so excited.
Well, Jim's got a great place, so we'll take you over there.
Yeah. My wife will love that.
And and we have some green grass, almost some green grass now. Yeah. Unless it burns up between now and then again. But
a lot of the snow has dissipated.
I haven't seen any lately. Have you?
Well, I know that last week they finally officially announced that Lake Sakakawea was free of ice.
Oh, okay.
For the first time since December at some point.
Well, that's got to be like the earliest that the ice has been out for quite some time. So that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, Katie, we won't get into North Dakota stuff right now, but of course we'd love to talk about it. Yeah, but we're excited to have you coming here, and of course we'll talk about it a little bit more in the upcoming episodes as well. You'll be here for the AUVSI Roadshow, and by the way, I'm glad that we actually got to this topic because I forgot all about it. We'll put a link on the techranch.com, by the way, for anybody who wants to go to the AUVSI Roadshow, which is May 18th in Bismarck. We have half-price tickets for the people who listen to this show. So I will post that up. It's $100 for the day, but with the coupon code that we'll throw out there, it's just $50, and that includes both meals, both lunch and dinner.
That's not bad, actually.
As well as a reception in that evening.
For 2 meals plus the whole day.
Yeah. And these are these are great meals that we're providing. Plus, you get to see drones and in action and these technologies. You'll see some autonomous vehicles running around. So it's a pretty cool deal that we have going on. It is a whole day event. It starts at 9 in the morning and goes till 7:30 at night. But it'll be a fun-filled day, and you'll learn a lot. And of course, the highlight of the day is Miss Metaverse speaking that evening. So
yes, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Anyway, Katie, we'll stop bragging you up here now. So let's let's get into the advances of computers. So where do you see computers going here in the near future?
All right, futuristic computers. Wow. I mean, just think about it, right? I mean, if you're looking at sci-fi movies from the 70s and the 80s, I mean, it's so funny to me just to look back on even just movies from, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago. I mean, our vision of the future just changes so dramatically because I think our technology just keeps on changing so dramatically, right?
Right, I agree.
And I think when I think about the future of computers and interfaces and how we're going to be using computers in the future, I really think about Minority Report. Do you remember that movie with Tom Cruise, the sci-fi movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when I think about Minority Report, I mean, that movie came out in 2002, right? And it seems like yesterday. I mean, this movie was so ahead of its time, I'd say, because in one specific scene, right, Tom Cruise plays this futuristic police officer where in this future scenario, they arrest people who are about to commit a crime because of this precognition program, right? But one of the scenes that really sticks out in my mind is when Tom Cruise is wearing these futuristic gloves, and he's got his hands in the air, and he's able to manipulate holograms of data, which is basically using these gloves to just make different gestures and control different photos and videos and different content, just using his hands and these holograms. And that's basically the computers of the future. And it's just so interesting now seeing how different technologies are converging to actually make this happening right now, whereas it's not a futuristic scenario anymore. I mean, we have the technology to do this now, you know?
And we were just talking, and I agree. I think that that's a great analysis of how things are moving forward, you know, using that movie. We were just talking about Star Trek and the Wales version, which was Star Trek 3 or Star Trek 4. Okay.
Star Trek 4.
And where Scotty's talking into he's trying to talk to the computer, then he picks up the mouse and he goes, "How quaint." And he starts talking into the mouse and it still didn't work.
Hello, computer.
And of course, we can talk to our computers now, and I think that technology will really be taken off in the next 3 to 5 years too. So,
as soon as the computers get a little more cooperative,
they tend to fight a lot with us right now.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Hal, open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Exactly.
Definitely. I mean, this stuff isn't science fiction anymore. We already have different kinds of gloves out that look exactly like this movie. They're like these two-fingered gloves. You could buy them on Amazon now. If you really want to use gloves like that, I mean, you don't use them in the air. You're not controlling the holograms with them yet. But, I mean, you could already buy gloves just like that to use as a different kind of mouse, and they're cheap online.
Right.
And then I think, we're seeing holograms coming out right now. I mean, look at the Microsoft HoloLens, right? I mean, that's already happening.
Yep. So do you see gestures becoming a big deal in the future?
Yes, absolutely. I think that we're already getting there now. I mean, from emojis to gestures, I mean, I think these things are going to evolve because we don't want to talk anymore. We're just able to share images, and we want quick communication. And I think it's kind of just we're just heading down that road, I think.
Jim, I wasn't referring to the gesture you usually get while you're driving down the road.
No.
I'm sure that's what you were thinking, right?
Is that the temperature? No, it's more than 1 degree out there.
So, yeah, and I agree with you, too. I think that gestures will become a big, big deal. You're starting to see more of it all the time. It's kind of fun when you watch people who have never seen this technology walk into a room and you're seeing somebody go through channels on their TV using gestures. They're just waving their hand in the air, and it goes from ESPN to, TBS or whatever else that you're going through as you're surfing the channels. You're not using your remote anymore. You're just using your hands to surf.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, well, think about the movie Her, right? In the movie Her, Joaquin Phoenix plays Theodore Twombly, and he's playing this futuristic video game. And in the video game, he's just making his hands walk, And as he's like making his like two fingers walk, he's like the character's actually walking. So gestures are already being used in sci-fi movies right now to show how our technology in the not too distant future will be controlled. And I think that's going to be one way.
So what about TVs? How do you see TVs playing into the computer of the future?
I would be shocked if TVs are actually even around, like as the way we view TVs now. I mean, even I was thinking about it recently. I mean, we had to buy some new TVs because I recently moved, and I was looking into getting some new televisions. And it's just, I just think the thought of a TV is just so dated already. Now you can basically, there's so many things. Both myself and my best friend have these systems now, like the NUC. It's like a little tiny computer that actually lets you stream Fios, or which is our cable, like Verizon cable, or any other network that you want. But it's a live streaming TV. You don't need the actual, Verizon triple play anymore. You can actually just stream TV through your mini computer at home. And when I think about these TVs, I don't think we're going to really need TVs much longer. I think that everything are going to be screens. It's all going to be screens. And I think those screens are just going to keep on getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And your internet, everything are going to be all streamlined through some tiny, tiny computer system, and that's all you're going to need. And you're not going to have to need like everything being so separate anymore. And right? Don't you agree that like it's so, I don't know, it just looks so clunky to have your cable box, this giant cable box, and all this stuff. I don't mean to ramble, but, having just moved and settled up again, I think it's better just to have it streamlined.
Well, and I absolutely agree. I mean, there's a reason why people are moving to the Roku, to these HDMI sticks that you put into your computer or your TV right now so that you can just stream your content. Now, we were talking earlier about the Intel Compute Stick, which is an HDMI stick that you plug into your TV, and it becomes a computer for less than $150. You have a Windows 8 operating system right on your TV through that. And with that, I know, Jim, we got to get to a break here, so
sure.
We'll go to the break and we'll continue our talk with Miss Metaverse on the future of computers, and I think we'll continue our conversation as well with the TV side. So come on back, everybody.
Right now, 48.
Your news leader, weeknights at 6 and 10. Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we are talking about the future of computers and interfaces and all that good stuff and how things are going to be changing in the studio. We have producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh.
Hello.
Of course, we have the tech geezer who's quietly sleeping in the corner. Or not too quietly anymore, I guess. And on the phone, we have Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. And we were just talking about how TVs are interfacing with the computer, and we kind of got interrupted with the break there. So are you familiar with the Intel Compute Stick, Katie?
Yes, and I mean, it seems like there's a lot of these things coming out now, right? I mean, it's just, and a lot of people don't understand it. So, I mean, I think we should explain it today, what these different things do.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, the Intel Compute Stick, that's one of the ones that basically you're able to just use these different kind of interfaces, I guess, to plug into your HDMI port and turn your TV into a computer, right?
That's all it is, and it's an inexpensive way to do that. I mean, this is something that you could wear around your neck. I'm grabbing my neck right now. I almost always have a flash drive around my neck because of the work that I do. It's almost like my jewelry, I guess. And by the way, speaking of which, Jim and Katie, I am lost today because I'm wearing a shirt without a pocket. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, you are. You're wearing like a Charlie Sheen kind of golf shirt there.
Well, I look up to the guy. What can I say?
Oh, yeah.
But
Tiger blood.
Tiger
winning.
But
wow.
One of the things, I can't get over how it has interrupted my day. The fact that I can't put my pocket protector in my shirt pocket and put all my pens and my other geeky stuff in there.
You have a pocket protector?
I don't, but I just like to paint that vision. So anyway, but yeah, the Intel Compute Stick could go into my pocket or hang around my neck.
Yeah.
And you could, everywhere you go, you could plug this thing in and you would have your computer with you.
Exactly. And that's so simple. I mean, people don't really understand where we're actually at. Like when you try to explain this to people, even when you try to explain to people, well, you don't really need to pay for cable anymore. And they're like, what do you mean we don't have to pay for cable anymore? How do we watch TV?
Yeah.
We can't watch our favorite programs. And you can. It's just like you get all the HD channels and everything when you, depending on what kind of system you have or what you do, but it's very easy to do. And I wouldn't see the future of TV being the same for much longer.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree. Go ahead, Jim. I know
was
you have
going
a
to
question.
say, on that subject, we talked about this earlier in the show about what happened with the Comcast deal last week. And I can't help but think that what you're talking about, Katie, these general trends have a lot to do with what happened with the Comcast deal, falling short as it did.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's definitely changing. I think there are probably a lot of companies are getting desperate, and I think that with all the with the FCC ruling and everything that happened recently, I mean, definitely seems like there's a power struggle going on.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that that power struggle will continue to get deeper as we move forward here, because we got all these technologies merging together right now.
And it seems like these big mega companies like Comcast, they're almost like dinosaurs. At least that's the public perception.
I think the issue is they can't change fast enough.
Well, yeah. I mean, their size works against them in that sense.
I look at Radio Shack, too, not to get too far off topic, but, I've worked with Radio Shack personally, and they were so top. It was almost like working with government. By the time that they said, we're ready to adopt this change or whatever, it's gone. We're already onto something else, and if they can't adapt quick enough, these companies will die. And I think the same is really true when it comes to our entertainment divisions right now.
Exactly, definitely. I agree too. It's happening so fast, and going back to what we were saying before, we're talking about brain computer. I mean, I just had a Freudian slip right there. I was saying that the future of computing are going to be even beyond the touch screen gloves, and it's going to be beyond even what we're thinking about now. I mean, when you're looking back at movies like Battlestar Galactica, right? They're using phones with cords, like actual phones.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they might as well have like a rotary phone in there. It's crazy to think about how even our perception of what the future of technology would be like is shown in different movies, and how different it is when the technology actually arrives. And I think that we will be beyond even, gloves or anything like that. And we will be using holograms, and we won't have TVs. We're going to have wall screens, which are holograms projected on our walls or anywhere we look even. And I think that brain-computer interfaces are definitely a hot topic, and I think that we're going to be using our mind to do a lot that we are thinking about now. I mean, you could use a gesture, you could use a mouse, or you could use a brain-computer interface. It's going to be different choices depending on your preference, really.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So one of the things that I've looked at the last couple of years at CES, are you familiar with the jellyfish screens?
No, I'm not.
You're starting to see some of them appear in some of our mobile devices now, but you can fold them up, you can roll them up, put them in your pocket, and when you get to your destination, you can just unfold them, lay them flat on your desk or whatever, and it's unbelievable how clear these screens are, and they're clear. I mean, you can see right through them. So, I see the day where maybe our windows in our houses are our TVs.
Yeah.
Where
Definitely.
you can, that way you're not taking that additional space to hang a TV or whatever. You just have a smart window, so to speak, and the smart window can display the outside temperature and everything else that's going on the outside of it, because it's a computer as well. So I see a lot of cool things in that realm too.
I think so too. I mean, just like you were saying before, there's computers on drives. I mean, I was even going through my memory boxes recently because with the move and everything, you end up digging up everything, right? And it was funny, like I found like one of those thumb drives, and it was like a 500 megabyte thumb drive that was giant. I mean, it was huge. And it's so funny now because, I mean, it's so crazy how fast things change, right? The technology and everything becoming smaller, more compact, and with more power, really.
Yeah, you laugh about your 500 meg one. I ran into some 32 and 64 meg ones here not too long ago. And we almost, we actually have some in our office that we still use for things, but there are, you talk about the changes and how things change so quickly. You think about floppy drives and how long they were around. They were around for 10, 15 years.
Remember
easily.
when a 56K modem was state of the art?
It was state of the art. I got a 300 baud modem one time. This is like an 85, so that's pre 56K, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't know what we would do with all the speed. So you go.
I remember getting a 56K, and I'm thinking, man, baby, this thing's going to be smoking.
I remember, picking between a 10 meg and a 20 meg hard drive, and we were considering because there was like a $300 price difference in 10 megs, and you're like, what do we need all that space for? And now we take a photo, and it's bigger than that all combined, know. So it's crazy.
Is there a limit to it, though? I mean, as a matter of physics. Sooner or later, you got to hit a wall somewhere, right?
I don't know. In the space realm, I think we're going to get to the point where space just isn't going to be a big deal anymore. You're just going to buy a hard drive, or you'll subscribe to an online storage system, and they're just going to say unlimited storage. It's going to be 10 terabytes or 100 terabytes or whatever.
Storage, infinite storage.
There are things now, Jim, where you can clip it onto your, talking about my shirt pocket a little bit ago, but you clip it on and it videos your life. And you archive your entire life, through video with this device that you wear. So storage isn't as big a deal as it used to be. There's no doubt about it. So,
definitely. Yeah, like the narrative clip and life. I think it's a life logger.
Yes,
camera.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So you
it's happening. You're right. We're going to be capturing it all in the cloud.
We will, and you think about the drive cams now. People putting the cams in their cars, and all this great footage you see of the Boeing jet that crashed a couple months ago because some people had these cameras in their cars. I mean, those are the things that we capture now because of all of this stuff.
Over the weekend, the earthquake.
Yes,
and some incredible video coming out.
Right,
and the volcano last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the world we live in, and that's just getting bigger and bigger all the time. So we certainly live in a world of technology overkill.
Yeah,
we have so much coming at us so fast. It's difficult for companies to adapt. It's difficult for us to adapt so quickly.
Future shock, baby.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right, Katie, last thoughts for the day.
Can't wait to come visit you. This is going to be great. I'm really psyched.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here, too. So, again, everybody, Katie will be coming. She is the keynote speaker on May 18th here in Bismarck at the Energy Center at BSC. For those of you who are local. And, of course, if you're not local, you can certainly fly in or drive in for the event. There's more at thetechranch.com. It's the AUVSI Roadshow descending on Bismarck Mandan.
Come out and see us here. Weather's getting nice again.
Yeah, it should be a great day. It really should be. Jim and Katie and I will be broadcasting from the event live that day, a special 2-hour broadcast. Looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun.
Excellent. Yes, the future of transportation, and we're going to go see some autonomous cars, and it's going to be really cool.
And drones, baby.
And drones.
We have lots of drones coming in, so that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the different technologies that Of course, we use them we call them drones, but they're AUVs or whatever you want to call them. So anyway, Kate, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Paula.
Jim, pleasure as always. Thanks for being back, man.
Likewise, I'm sure.
It was great to have you back on the show again. So until next week, everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel.
You've been listening to The Tech Ranch, live and local on Super Talk 1270. Keep ahead of the trends. Tune in every Monday morning at 11 a.m. for The Tech Ranch. Exclusively here on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
ABC News, Super Talk 1270. Accurate news, stimulating talk. This is KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck.